All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Our key takeaways from the Broncos hosting the Buffalo Bills. They lose this game 48-19. We'll start in the first half. Now, the Broncos get the ball. They drive down the field. They have a missed field goal, something that probably wouldn't have happened with Brandon McManus, but that ended up being obviously an opportunity. Bills get the ball, drive down for a touchdown. Broncos get it. They punt. The Bills get the ball again. They go down for a touchdown. The Bills only touched the ball 4 times in the first half, and 3 of them were for touchdowns, which is going to be, when you're talking about complimentary football, that's going to be a challenge for anybody. We'll get to what the Broncos offense ultimately did. But one of the plays was a Josh Allen 24-yard rushing touchdown. And my goodness, man, he's having a special year. No denying how talented he is. And especially watching him make his Pro Bowl this year, hats off. He played a heck of a game.
5-man pressure, deep drop. Now he steps up and he can run, and he'll run forever. 20, 15, inside the 10, inside the 5, touchdown Buffalo. 24-yard scamper by Josh Allen as the seas parted, and Allen had nobody in front of him. He had the ball in his right hand. I don't think he had anybody touch him before he crossed the goal line.
No, he didn't. In fact, the closest person could have been Elijah Holder, but he got pushed down by the tight end. So Elijah Holder was the guy that had the best shot at maybe getting to him, but he got pushed down, and then Josh Allen just sort of ran around that tight end with the block. And then there was a moment, though, that Kareem Jackson, so they were playing 2 deep safety, and Kareem Jackson kind of went to the boundary on the right side and sort of left that void in the middle of the field. I'm not saying that it was necessarily the wrong play because I don't know what the call was, but there was a massive void. I mean, if a receiver was standing right there in the middle of the field, there would have been nobody within like 7 yards. So it was just interesting that Kareem Jackson, he followed all the way over to the boundary as if he's playing basically shadow on somebody. And then he unfortunately left this massive void that Josh Allen ran through.
I said I was worried about it right before the game. I talked about it at the end of last week, that the Broncos, for all the numbers that they've got in the red zone, they're weak against quarterback runs in the red zone, and they got gashed twice on that in the game.
So then the Broncos get the ball. They go 3 and out, ill-timed 3 and out. But special teams helping out here. They punt the ball. There's a fumble, and Jacob Bobenmeyer, come on down.
Sam Martin will punt this ball away, aims it towards the west sideline. Fair catch signal and bobbled. The ball's on the ground. The ball is free, and I think the Broncos may have it at the 34-yard line. I think Denver's got the ball, and they do. Maybe this is the break they need. Andre Roberts fumbles the fair catch, 43 yards on the punt, and the Broncos are going to have great field position to start a drive. Maybe this will get the offense going.
That, of course, Dave Logan on the call. So they have the muffed punt by Roberts. Broncos get it. And this is something that I think I want to make sure to highlight here, because there were times during like the Trevor Siemian era or with Vance Joseph here, the defense or special teams would get that turnover. The Broncos offense couldn't do anything with it. They'd settle for a field goal. It would, the morale of the team, like you can't build any momentum. But the Broncos, 6 plays later, punch it in with Melvin Gordon on a 10-yard run. And I mean, look, it wasn't pretty. They got in position. Drew Lock had to scramble for 14 yards. I mean, it wasn't one of those like they took advantage right away, but they did get the touchdown, which was massive at that point because, as we said, the Bills touched the ball 4 times in the first half, and 3 of them went for touchdowns. You knew you had to close out with touchdowns.
That is a 75% scoring percentage.
Oh, it's good math. It's really good math.
You're welcome.
That's impressive. Okay, so the Broncos get that touchdown. Then the defense gets a 3 and out on the Bills. Fortunately, the Broncos, they go 3 and out as well.
Right.
It was not a great performance overall. When the Broncos get the ball back with minute 44, make sure that was right. Minute 49. Minute 49 left in the first half. They get it at their own 25, and this was by far their best drive of the game. There's no question about it. And Drew Lock threw, I would argue, his 2 best passes of the day. This first one to Jerry Jeudy for 19 yards. And actually, by the way, he had KJ Hamler wide open in the middle of the field.
Wide open.
Would have just...
And it wasn't the only time he was wide open in the middle of the field.
We can get to that in a second. But then his next pass to Noah Fant was a beaut. And that was a lock to Fant. Beautiful, brilliant pass. But this one I wanted to highlight, this pass to Jerry Jeudy, which was special.
Blitz on the way, lock in the pocket, now steps and throws a ball that is caught inside the 10-yard line. That catch made by Jerry Jeudy, and Denver quickly takes a timeout with 11 seconds to go in the half. The coverage and tackle by Levi Wallace. Good throw there by Drew Lock, and a contested catch made by Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, it was a brilliantly executed drive. Like for all the things that went wrong for the Broncos offense, to go in the 2-minute drill and get a touchdown against that defense needed to happen. That pass to Jerry Jeudy was great. Sort of just, ran upfield, turned around, sat down, and Locke had to throw with anticipation. He stepped into the throw. Everything about it was great, except for the fact that KJ would have walked into the end zone. But they got the touchdown anyways.
It's almost like that offense is better playing at tempo.
I mean, somebody's been saying that.
I don't know who. I don't know where I've heard it.
But anyways, very impressive.